Hello there, everybody. Hello, Kim Coles here. I have a habit of saying my name for those of you who may not know who I am, but for those of you who do, woo, 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 and hello and welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about the wisdom within our inner knowing, our outer experience, our excitement and celebration around wisdom, because there may or may not be a brand new book coming out right now called the Wisdom Gifts book. Yeah, there it is. All right, so let me give you a little context. Welcome in, and as you're coming in, you know how StreamYard works. If you don't give it permission to tell me who you are, I won't know your name. It'll just say a watcher, a viewer, a friend, a person, a beautiful soul like you. So please do give me permission to know that it's you. So I see Preston. I see it says LinkedIn user, but I don't know your name. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me give you a little context here. So a few years ago, many years ago, I wrote a book. And then I wrote another book, and it was called Open Your Gifts. Open Your Gifts. And it's 22 lessons on finding and embracing your personal power. I don't remember what year this was. I can look and see. Hold on. What year was this? This was uh, no 2017. 2017, I created this anthology with 22 other amazing authors, and they were all lessons on finding and embracing your personal power. And for me, your personal power comes many different ways, and we're going to talk about some of that today. And one of the ways, to me, I've shared 5 ways within this acronym GIFTS. It's about being grateful every day for what you already have and what's on its way in. It's about being intentional about the life that you want to live and lead and leave with your gifts and talents and abilities. It's about forgiving everything that doesn't work, anything that doesn't serve you, anything that's old news, get rid of it and move it out of the way for more beautiful things to come in for you to experience about the best life ever. The T is for triumphs, standing triumphant in your truth, triumphant in the truth of your magnificence. And then the S in my acronym is all about self-love. So in 2017, the first book came out, 22 lessons on finding and embracing your personal power. And then, what year is this? Hold on. In 2018, Open Your Gifts 2 came out. And Open Your Gifts 2 was 42 lessons on finding and embracing the blessings in disguise. That means 42 authors and me all told stories about how we found and embrace and celebrate the blessings in disguise. And as you all are coming in, if you want to share with me, and I'll be able to come back and look at the comments, how you have learned to embrace the blessings in disguise. By the way, I would happily ask you if you could happily share this out to your world. Sprinkle a little love in your world about what we're going to be talking about today, because people are going to be real happy that you invited them. Because boom, here comes book number 3. And this is part of the Open Your Gifts series. It's the third. And this time, it's finding and embracing the legacy in your lessons. And I didn't put the number on the cover of this book. This time, it's 29 authors plus me, all sharing and celebrating the lessons that we've experienced in life, the wisdom that we now have. And the legacy is sharing that wisdom with others. And so I decided to do a really powerful live stream that is all about do what now? Oh, Sandra Bloomfield Jones, did you give me stars? Listen, I'm getting moment by moment updates. Thank you, Dr. EJ. You all know my beloved Dr. EJ is here. So thank you so much, Sandra, for the stars. Thank you, wonderful Wanda, for sharing it. I really appreciate the message out there. Hey, A. Marie, how are you? How are you? Embracing the wisdom, embracing the stars, embracing the share. And I'm going to have you in just a moment embrace some of my authors who shared this journey with me towards sharing their wisdom. And what a generous task, or not task, I should say, what a generous um, gift it is to give your wisdom back to the world. So here's my take on wisdom. And if you all want to share what wisdom means to you, please do in the chat. And like I said, share with other folks. I'm at that place in my life. Who gave me somebody lot gave me serentit serentit lot. That's not the smell. Serenity. Oh, serenity. The what? Serenity Lot gave me stars. Thank you so much. I appreciate the stars. I please appreciate the love. And I appreciate the wisdom that I know you have in your world too. So where was I? I was talking about being at a stage in a place in my life where now more than ever I want to really celebrate the wisdom. So what I could do is feel bad about mistakes I've made. What I could do is look at ways that I've been in the world that I didn't understand what I was doing at the time and I fumbled. I could look at all of it, all of the ups and downs, as I like to call the yummy and yucky of life, and decide to look at it through the lens of the wisdom that I gained by just being here, the wisdom I get by just being in experiences, the wisdom that I've gained by just meeting certain people and jumping off of cliffs. And yes, I did jump off a cliff one time, or in the case of recently, I jumped off the cliff of joining that show, The Surreal Life, an experience of going into a house with 7 other strangers for 2.5 weeks in Mexico. And yes, Dennis Rodman was naked a lot. But I can choose to question myself or doubt myself or wonder if I've done the right thing. Or I can go, wait a minute, what is the wisdom I gained from that? What have I learned from that for myself? And then here comes the kicker. How can I share that with others? How can I share my journey with others so that A, they see that their journey is worthwhile and amazing, even though it has its ups and downs and yummy and yuckies. And the other piece of it for me, which is a little bit of a secret, is I'm ever searching for how we are the same. So much in the world is focused on how we're different, different races, different religions, different beliefs, different backgrounds, different heights, different sizes, different ages, different size booties, all the things that we compare that are different. But the truth is, I really think that there's only one of us here. And one of us here meaning in your uniqueness and in your unique journey that is beautiful and all yours, that when you share your journey with me, I go looking to see if I'm just like that. You were so courageous. Could I have ever been that courageous? Does that courageousness already live in me? Wow, you had so much integrity when you went through that particular thing in your life. Does that integrity live within me? Are there times in my life where I used my integrity or didn't, or used my judgment or didn't? I think we go looking for ourselves in each other. And when we do that, I think we create more harmony, we create more peace, and we are able to celebrate more love. So, why not form collaboration and link hands with others who are ready to share their wisdom with the world? One of the things I think, if I think there's only one of us here, I don't mean there's only one and therefore it's lonely. I think this journey of life is so much more rich when you're able to link hands and link arms with other like minded individuals who are ready to share their wisdom too. And so that's what the Wisdom Gifts book is about. Now that yes, show me something. By the way, Kayana Davis, thank you for the stars. So, woo woo woo. I purchased the book on Amazon. You had me as soon as I saw the cover. I saw the book and I can tell it was life changing for me. Thank you so much, Denise Fun. What a great last name. Hey, Fun. Hey, Denise Fun. Yeah, the book design was very intentional. And we could talk about that a little bit. I have some of my authors here with me and I don't want to keep them waiting too much, but I wanted to have a tree. Look, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm an earth girl. So any kind of earth stuff, a tree, the ocean, the sky, I'm going to fall in love with all of that. And so I wanted to have a tree of knowledge right there with the wisdom coming up. So I'm glad that you resonated with the cover. We chose this intentionally. Someone loves purple, which is why she's got purple hair. Somebody loves purple. You see my purple wall in my office, and someone's very grateful that you said yes to it. By the way, before I bring on some of my authors tonight, I'm telling you in all intentionality and all truth that today the book is not even, we're in pre launch right now. We launched December 1st. And so this is sort of what I like to call a bestseller blitz. Our goal as a collaborative, and you're going to meet some of my authors in just a moment, our goal is to be best selling authors before it even launches December 1st. The way you help us do that is today through the 1st, you can get the Wisdom Gifts book on Amazon for $14.99. Now, this is a nice, big, thick book. It's 377 pages. 390. What? 377 pages. What? And so from now until December 1st, the book is reduced from $24.99 to $14.99. You get $10 off if you get the book sometime between today and the 1st. I'm advocating for you to get it today because we're only a few books away from being bestsellers, so you can be a part of our getting our wisdom message out to the world. Okay, so Edward Tucker says that's my cousin Lana D. Tucker, who's one of the co-authors, and Lana is here. So can we put Lana on the screen since your cousin is here? Since your cousin is here, let's bring Lana on the stage, and whoever else you decide to promote to the stage here. Hey, Lana.
Hey, Kim. Hey, cuz.
I love the cousins and family are showing up. Well, thank you so much for being one of the authors in the Wisdom Gifts book. And by the way, you all can go to wisdomgiftsbook.com and get your copy. Again, it's $10 off. It's $14.99 instead of $24.99. Miss Lana, what made you decide to say yes to sharing your wisdom in the Wisdom Gifts book?
Well, I started following you on Instagram, and you put out this wonderful offer. And I wrote a book, almost a decade ago, and I'm kind of shy, didn't really do much about it, but I just felt it was time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we've been through a lot of things in life, and I just thought it would be a great opportunity to give back and share wisdom to other people.
Yeah,
As I get older, I realize how important that is.
right. And you realize it. Listen, I really think we should celebrate it. And the whole thing about getting older, I respect my elders and I love listening to the stories of the elders. So why don't I just step into an elder or an auntie phase right now? And I'm not saying that you have to be an elder or that right now, but you were so generous in sharing your story. Do you want to share a little bit about which one of the principles you chose, the G, the I, the F, the T, or S, or even the name of your chapter, or any little nugget that you want to share?
Yeah, I'm a part of the S's, self-love.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because it's the end of the acronym, but that's exactly what it was for me. I was always doing self-help books and things, always trying to improve myself, but I kind of skipped the self-love.
Mhm.
And when I made that realization, it was like, wow.
Mhm.
I kind of thought it was corny. Oh, love yourself before you love others. I was like, whatever, I just so so. But when I sat down, I thought, that's kind of true. You attract what
It's
you become.
It's true. And I love that you said, yeah, the S is last, but really all of this conversation that we're having right now is about self-love first. You have to sort of start there before you can get anything done, right? One of my favorite quotes by Lucille Ball, who's one of my favorites, is that you have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. And so I think a lot of us are trying or striving or comparing or wanting or wishing. And it's like, wait a minute, if I just love myself first, what if I came from a place of love? So thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for having
Thank you.
me.
And thank you. And we thank your cousin Edward for showing up too. So
Right.
cousins, family members,
Family.
yes, we love family. We love and so much so needed, so needed and so needed to be embraced, right? So
Yeah.
welcome to the stage right now, Toy Cook. Toy Cook has come to the stage with a beautiful background. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Hello.
All right. Wonderful.
Well, I want to thank you for also being a part of this book. By the way, this is a nurse, so we're going to give her some extra love, right? Nurse Toy.
Yeah.
She loves on the people, and the people love on her.
Yeah.
Toy, tell us a little bit about your journey of being one of the authors in the Wisdom Gifts book.
So everything I've heard you say this comment that you have downloads from God all the time. You're a Capricorn. I'm feeling you, Kim. All your projects and everything you got going on. I had done a project with you about a year ago, and it set me up to join this one because the time I left the hospital was not planned. I was working 37 years, $200,000 a year salary. Everything was wonderful. And then I had to make a snap decision. Are you going to stay there for the okie dokie? Are you going? I left. It's no problem. I love it. I love it.
Well, and I love about your journey that you are using your wisdom and your knowledge and your experience from all those years to actually help others
Yes.
succeed in that realm. So it's like you left that part of it, but you became,
Yes.
a wisdom giver, so to speak.
And in my role at the hospital, that was all I did. Walk around as a supervisor and give wisdom, just share stories. And they loved it. We loved each other. So
Oh,
that part has still been there. They still contacting me in retirement.
good.
So
If this is what retirement looks like, let's all retire right now.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any wisdom that you'd like to share with everyone who's listening right now? This is Toy Cook, by the way, one of the authors of the Wisdom Gifts book. If you're just coming in, welcome. Please share this if this is helpful and enjoyable for you. Is there any wisdom that you'd like to share right now with everyone listening and watching right now?
Say after having, I was kind of, I made the decision. Nobody did it for me, but to retire at 58, I want to encourage everybody to not not own respect your body and your finances. I just
Ooh.
leave
Not
it.
just what now?
I said I'll leave it there. Respect your body and your finances because you never know, but you're gonna need. That's one body you got, and you don't never know what's gonna happen. So I'll share
Nice.
that later.
Nice. You're gonna make me get down on the floor and give you 10 push-ups right now. I couldn't even do 10 if I tried.
It's not.
I need to respect my body more.
I
Thank you so
had
much for sharing.
something happened to my stomach.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. So you're taking from your own lessons and taking from your own experiences and being so generous and sharing in
yeah,
that way.
yeah.
Thank you, Toy Cook. Thank you so much for being a part of the Wisdom Gifts book. Thank you. Thank you. So those of you who are coming in, let me just reset and tell you what was that? I got a note from a quick, yeah. So um this session I'm secretly calling the bestseller blitz. And listen, the whole point of becoming a bestseller, which I've had the great joy of doing 4 times before. This is number 5. And the point of doing that is really not about me or not about any of the other authors in any of the other books, which there have been many. I have 2 other books that are just mine, and these are all anthologies. But it's really about being able to amplify your vision and amplify your voice. So I want people here in the chat. I see Kimberly and I see Sonia and I see Tyrone Bean, who must be another cousin or family member of Lana, sending love, and Nicole, to share with me. Let's see, what can I ask you? What is a nugget of wisdom that you have that you would want to share with the world right now? If you could share one important, I know you've got lots of nuggets of wisdom because you wouldn't be here if you weren't wise, right? If there's one thing that you would share with the world, and by the way, you can be wise at any age or at any stage. 5-year-olds have wisdom, 70-year-olds have wisdom. We all have our wisdom from our experiences. What is something that you would be willing to share with the world right now? If you were just being generous and go, here's something that I learned along the way, and y'all need to know this. Feel free to share and share with others. What was that?
What would you say to people who are scared to share?
Oh, So I just got a a beautiful question from Dr. EJ here. What would I say to people who were scared to share your wisdom? Hmm. I would, okay, here's what a coach would do. A coach would say, why are you scared? Why are you afraid of sharing your wisdom? I think the thing about wisdom is that wisdom, to me, is one of the definitions for me anyway, is that it comes from your experiences. It comes from what you've learned, comes from your journey along life. And I would say, I would ask you, why would you be afraid to share some wisdom with others? Hasn't wisdom been shared with you? I want you to think about the time or a time when someone shared something with you and they didn't even know that they were changing your life with that piece of news or that piece of information. They were just sharing something with you and you were like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I know that now. So now I can look at life through those lenses. And it could be something really small. It could be like, don't add the salt then. Don't add the flour at that time. I'm not a cook, so that ain't the wisdom that I that I retain. But it could be, don't turn down that block, turn down that block, and it will make your journey faster. It could be, don't date this kind of person because this is what's going to happen. And you went and dated that person anyway. And you're like, okay, now I see why. What wisdom have you received from someone that opened your eyes or opened your heart in some way that you were not expecting? And if you think about that and you go, if I am changed because I received that piece of knowledge, that piece of wisdom, that gift, why wouldn't I now want to give that back in the world? And when I say wisdom, it doesn't have to be something like earth shattering. Like, I'll give you, for instance, one of my favorite pieces of wisdom is a quote by Maya Angelou. And you all have heard this one before. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. The first time I heard that, I was like, what does she mean? When people show you who they are, and they always do, believe them the first time. So if someone was rude and mean and abrasive and weird with you, now maybe you could chalk it up to, okay, they were having a bad day, or maybe you could, but if you're paying attention and if someone is showing you their worst self, and then 6 months down the road, they show you that self again, you can go, wait a minute, this is not a surprise. This is not a surprise. Sometimes people do surprise you, and sometimes people are in a bad state or an interesting moment, or it's like they were impatient or something bad was happening, and you can give people grace. I don't think that you shouldn't give people grace, but I think you should pay close attention to how someone presents themselves to you the first time. It could turn either way. Someone could have a face of niceness and then later turn into a monster. But pay attention to what they're showing you the first time. That's a piece of wisdom that I've watched unfold time and time and time and time again over the years. Imagine if Maya Angelou had been afraid to share that. Like, oh, I better keep this one to myself. I know this has happened to me a lot. I notice that when people show themselves to me, it's who they turn out to be exactly who they say they are, who they said they were the first time. I don't think I should say that with people. Imagine if she were afraid. So that's the answer to the question. What if you're afraid to share the wisdom? Think of a wisdom that you received that changed your path. And why wouldn't you want to help someone else with that? By the way, before I bring on my next author, here's a little piece of wisdom. When you're busy sharing your wisdom with folks, one of the things you have to do is let go of whether or not they receive it and follow it. Did you get that? Did you get that? The wisdom is, you're busy sharing your wisdom. Listen to me. I have things to share. I know things. My whole world, I know these things. There are people who will go, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I need to figure this out on my own. And you have to have the grace and the wisdom to let them go and figure it out on their own. And they will. Tanya said, that's good. Thank you. Thank you, Tanya Shea Beauty Thompson. Oh, Tuts Jackson, thank you for the stars. I appreciate you. Thank you all for sharing. I appreciate you. And coming to the stage right now is a fellow Capricorn sister. Dr. Teresa Jeter is in the house. Hello, Dr. Teresa. Hello, Dr. Jeter.
Hi,
Welcome.
Kim. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful, lady. I'm wonderful. Thank you for being here, and thank you for
Absolutely.
being a part of this book. I'm so excited. Just side note, can I tell them I'm going to Greece with Dr. Jeter?
Hey.
Dr. Jeter has a trip to Greece that she does with her group
Mhm.
midwestwest.org. We can
Yeah.
put that in the chat for folks if people want to go to Greece with us. I love the way you give back in the world. And let's talk about some wisdom that you share. What did you share in this book that you want, a little nugget of what did you share in this book that you want to share with folks right now?
Well, first of all, I had the wisdom to join this opportunity. Okay. So thank you for creating that opportunity because in this process and providing my little few wisdom nuggets, I had the opportunity to just go a little bit deeper for myself, and that is, it was a little bit cathartic for me as well,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Because you have to figure out a way to address whatever those issues are within your life. And this was one of the ways that helped address me, helped for me to address some of those issues that I've experienced. So thank you for that opportunity. I certainly don't take it lightly. But my part of the book was dealing with inspiration. I believe it was the I, right? It's the I in gifts. And so that is my legacy. I've always inspired, particularly women, because if women were born during the time I was born, then you went through the thing about women are relegated to the house and take care of the house and clean and then be secretaries. Nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But that's all we saw of ourselves, right? And so, as a result of that, and me being the middle child, that's what my chapter really was all about, being middle child and all those kinds of things that can create some issues for one. But I turned those little middle child syndrome things
Mhm.
into figure out a way to be motivated and be inspirational. And my
Mhm.
big thing is don't stay stuck in the hurt or stuck in the pain because you'll be stuck there. And
Mhm.
so if you're stuck there, you really can't move forward. Not really, right? We all have some level of baggage, and that being the case, well, how do you figure out how to slowly take those clothes out of that luggage and make your load a little bit lighter? And it's our responsibility to do that. So yes, and so I've been able to share a little bit in the and again, thank you for the opportunity because uh, my and when you were talking about we have more that we're more alike than we are different, right? And what helps us, what allows us to be that way, is because of our mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've all had hurt. We've all had pain and embarrassments, and so that's the starting point. That's where we start in order to connect with one or be able to connect, right? So I
Yeah.
believe we have more sameness than difference
Yeah.
in our lives, and so that's me all day long. I'm inspiring. I mean, I inspire because in today's world, and I know I'm going on and on. In today's
Love
world, it's so much noise in social media and all the things. Our wisdom also can get drowned out, right? Because everybody has some quotes and all that good stuff, right?
it. Right.
Uh, but when we share from the heart, from our experiences, then then what happens is we folks feel that. People feel that, right? They say, okay,
Mhm.
okay, I get that. That connects with me. So then folks don't feel you're preaching at them or want them to have all of your wisdom like they have none, right? Everybody has some wisdom on some level, right? So anyway, I'm just so happy to be part of this certainly project, and thank you again for the opportunity to participate.
My pleasure. So what now? Oh, a message. So proud of you, Mom. Here's the website. Listen, hold Talia, so this is the wonderful experience, in working with Teresa Jeter. We've done some interviews and prepared all the all the assets needed to do this big splash with this book, and her daughter was there setting up the lights, making sure the neck technology was working, and here she is right here saying, "So proud of you, Mom. Here's the website, midwestwest.org. Come on out and hang with us. Listen, Dr. Gita does this annual trip to Greece. Or is it always Greece? Is it always the
No,
Greek?
the right before the pandemic, we went to Barcelona, Spain, Italy, up through Rome, all the way up there. We had a ball. We had women from about 30 different states that came and
Yeah.
participated, and we're right there right now as well. So, all ladies, bring your husband, bring your boyfriends, bring your kids if you want. Well, I don't know if you want to do that, but come on and have fun with us for 7 days. Kim is going to be there. She's so gracious. She and Dr. EJ to come and participate with us. We're going to have a ball.
We
And
are.
so we're so thankful as we celebrate our 10th year anniversary that you are the person that we're highlighting for this particular experience. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, and by the way, I want to share some nuggets here, that some things, a couple of things that just happened just there. You were talking about sharing your wisdom out in the world, and in particular on social media, and not talking at people but talking to people. I want you all to hear what Dr. Jeter was saying too, is that as you're sharing those of you who are in business, or you're entrepreneurs, or you're leaders in your world, I want you to just put on this other side of your put on some, how do I want to say, I want to turn on a light bulb for you here of something that she just said, that you're sharing yourself with others, you're bringing them into your wisdom, and people will lean in and want to know more about you and the work that you do and the organizations that you have and the foundations that you have, because you're sharing your wisdom, because you're sharing your experiences, as you're sharing your goods and products and services. And so many people are selling what they do. Like tonight, I'm selling a book, wisdomgiftsbook.com, wink. But what I'm really doing is creating community and inviting you to come on and play, and to share yourself as well, and that draws people in. So that was a nugget that I wanted to share. I wanted to highlight that you were demonstrating for others that you do. And the other thing is that you've created this beautiful cruise that you do every year, and just before the pandemic that shut, right during the pandemic that shut down, but you're taking women and men and their husbands and their people on this beautiful cruise for them to experience other worlds and other places, as we also have inspiration. And so I'm going to be appearing and speaking, and I'm going to go buy me some caftans right now so I can stand on the Lido deck and have the wind blow through all my experience.
Oh, we'll be standing at the top on the one of the Santorini landscapes.
Oh, wow.
And so we're all going to do a fabulous photo shoot, and certainly a lot of inspiration from you when you said wind blowing through our caftan. So we're definitely going to do that.
Thank you, Dr. Jeter. Thank you.
You're
Somebody
welcome.
said here that we look like we could be cousins. Yes, we are. We're cousins in the spirit. Yes,
Come on
ma'am.
now.
Come on now. Thank you, Dr. Jeter, for saying yes to this experience. Hello from Atlantic City. Hello, Sherry Carr. Hello to Mike Bowie Hughes for giving me some stars, for giving us some stars. I see a wisdom piece here from Delisa Richards, who said, let me just read, always allow yourself to feel dumb in God. It allows you to see how much God wants you to learn. Listen, that's a really good one. I think a lot of times, I know I've done this before many times. I go places and I want to, I try to be smart. I'm the smartest one in the room. I'm very clever. Oh, I already know that. Yes, I already know. Oh, I know exactly where to go. I know exactly what to do. I know. And when you have what EJ and I talk about a lot of times in your life, allow yourself to have childlike wonder, childlike curiosity. Kids don't know what they don't know, and you watch them unfold and figure things out. And when you walk into an experience, even if you've had some familiarity or some experience with something like that, if you go to a gala or something, I know what's going to happen at a gala. I'm going to get dressed up, I'm going to put on some lashes, I'm going to eat some dried chicken, and somebody's going to sit on stage and talk about something. But wait a minute, if I walk into the room with curiosity, what am I there to learn, experience? Who are the people at my table that I can meet and commune with? That it's not just a regular gala with a bunch of dried chicken. It's now, and a really hard dinner roll. It's now something that is meant for me to soak up and learn and enjoy. So hope to see you on the cruise with Dr. Gita. Thank you. Thank you, Talia, for putting that. I hope I'm saying her name right, for putting the website there. And once again, tonight's experience, and I'm about to invite Angela Alexander to the stage, telling you to get ready. What I'm doing is sharing the Wisdom Gifts book with everyone. Tonight is really a celebration of becoming a bestseller right now. And you can help us do that by going to Amazon right now at wisdomgiftsbook.com. The book is reduced by $10. It's only $14.99. Get your book in and be inspired by all these amazing souls. Look at this. Look at this. All right. Angela Alexander has entered the room. Hello. Hello. Lovely. Hello. Thank you for saying yes to this experience. And I know that you're already an author. I know that you've already produced a movie about your experience, and the fact that you said yes to this experience is I'm so grateful for you for. So talk a little bit about your chapter and why you said yes to this.
Well, God gave me an amazing testimony, and He told me to be bold with it. And so, like you said, I've written my autobiography. It turned into a documentary film, but I just wanted more exposure. And when you jumped at the opportunity to stand, next to you on stage, and here you are. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. By the way, I say hello to Edward Roebuck. I see you. I see you. Hello from Texas. I see you. You have quite an incredible journey, and your chapter is going to be one of those chapters that people read and go, I don't know how I could have. I don't know if I could still be standing. I don't know how I don't know. I don't know. So, what would you say, without giving it all away? What would you say to someone when they go, I don't know how I could. I'm not that strong. I don't have that much faith. I don't have that much belief. I can't keep standing after devastation. I'm trying not to give it away.
I know.
Please share a little bit about your story if you want to, so you can go like, how do you stand even when the unthinkable has happened in your life?
Yeah, I'll share it, because the unthinkable is the death of your child. And that is really the unthinkable. And if you had asked me the day before, what would you do if something happened? We all get that. What would you do if something happened to your child or your children? And I remember saying I would go crazy, hook up the IV, because I'm through. And when it happened, I was in Japan on military duty, and my family was in a horrific car crash here in California, and a car cut them off. And my 2 8-year-old sons passed instantly at the scene. And I'm telling you, that was so. And people say, well, Angela, how did you feel being on the other side of the world? But you know what, Kim? If I was home when the police knocked on my door, I would have run somewhere. But in Japan, I had no choice but to be still and know that God is still God. And wherever there's a crisis, Christ is. So,
Okay.
yes, yes, He is. I had to realize that, and God is the same today, tomorrow, and forever. And I'm telling you what, and it's by the Holy Spirit that intercepted and allowed me to still stand here and praise His holy name. And so I did not spiral down. I did not go crazy because of God's grace.
It's really a powerful story, and has so many I call them God winks. There's actually a book called God Winks. I think God winks all the time if you're just paying attention. And that you are still here to tell the story, and still here to and that you're not just a survivor, you're a thriver, and you're teaching others how to live through the unthinkable. And you must live, and your little boys sent messages to make sure that you did live, and that you did share the story, and that you did provide hope and a how do I want to say, a light, like a lighthouse for others to see their way through incredible grief. And in fact, you do grief counseling, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So I want you to hear what Angela is saying too, without even saying it, is that your life will give you life. The Creator gives you life, and part of your gift is to give back. And so she's taking her experiences and sharing from that experience, and then doing doing the ultimate, which is then going back and serving and reaching and helping others. And I want you all to be thinking about in your life how you can take experiences that you've had and then share with others, as we've talked about, and then also be a lighthouse for others. So thank you, Angela, for being a lighthouse for others. Thank you. And thank you for your service as well. And thank you for all that is to come. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody said amen. I want to also give everybody a little behind the scenes too, that this book wasn't just, okay, you want to write a chapter, off you go. I have to tell you that it was also, it was cathartic, as a few of the ladies have said already. And it was one part like coaching and coaxing. We coached and coaxed those chapters and coached those words and wisdom out of these amazing authors. And some of them were like, here it is on the page, blah, 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 blah. And others were like, I don't know if I could tell this story right now. I don't know if I should tell this story right now. I was like, yes, 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 do it, do it, do it. And here it is, in print right now. So thank you all for saying yes. I'm going to read some of the other comments here. Thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate you. Good thought to Teresa Kennedy, MBA, says, good thought to take into 2023. I don't know which thought it was, but I'm glad it works for you. And listen, that is the other thing too. Oh, yes. That's the other thing too. Mama Louise is coming to us shortly. That's another thought that, it's no accident that the book is coming out now. Now, did I try to get this book to come out by Mother's Day, ladies? Yes, I did. And there were delays and problems and challenges. I won't say problems, it's challenges. It's because it wasn't ready yet. And we wanted to make it right. And we wanted to make it, and when I say right, I don't mean as in a judgment. I mean, we wanted to make it just right, like Goldilocks right, or curly locks, or goddess locks right. There's Goldilocks and there's goddess locks. We wanted to make it just right. And it's not lost on me that this book is now coming at the time that we're shooting this, during a week that we really focus on giving thanks and expressing thanks and um, counting our blessings. And it's happening at the time of year where we begin to review what the year was like and look back on our life. This is a time where I also do a reflection, not only on the year, but on my life in general, and prepare vision for moving forward. And so now more than ever, this is the time to do that. When you read the chapters in this book, when you read everyone's story, you will see yourself, and you will be inspired to celebrate your own wisdom. You will be inspired to celebrate your own wisdom. Hey, Karen, you said you missed about 82 seconds of the goodness. You had to step out. Well, step back in, because right now, coming to the stage is the one and only Mama Louise, who said yes. She also said a powerful yes. Hello.
Hello, my love. How are you?
I am wonderful, and I'm so glad that you're here. Mama Louise is a beautiful spiritual teacher and someone who I have turned to in in an hour where I needed somebody else to be the lighthouse for me. So thank you for being the lighthouse for all of us and for me in general. Mama Louise, tell me about why you said yes to sharing your wisdom in this way. Now, I know you share your wisdom all the time. I've had private sessions with you. What made you decide to share your wisdom this way?
One of the reasons why I really wanted to dive into this, because it was like a wink of the ancestors letting me know it's time for you to step forward in wisdom. And so I said, let me go ahead and jump on in while the request is being made. And so I found myself reviewing, how did I get this wisdom? And I realized we all have it when we're conceived. It's not the long mountain climb that we have to go to until we get these, different situations that make us wise. We actually were conceived, and in that very moment, in the womb, we were made wise. And then once we came here, we were just here to unlock the wisdom and express it in our own unique ways. And so I wanted to get that message out to all of humanity that listen, everyone, let's stop struggling so much.
Mm.
You were conceived wise. You've been wise all the way from the very day one beginning. You're just coming out to show off right now.
So wait a minute. I love this idea that we come in, and I've heard it put that way before, that you actually come in. I think there's some babies that knows, like if you looked at some baby and they go, like, that baby's been here before. That baby knows some stuff. That's an old baby right there. So you may not know how to walk. You may not know how these limbs and these things work, but there's a knowing that we come with already. I love that you embrace that so beautifully. So that makes the journey less difficult, right?
Yes, you won't have to fuss with yourself so much. I wish I knew this then. I wish I didn't do that. No, it's just part of the destiny.
Mm,
It's okay because you were born wise
mm.
and you're going to show it off in a moment. Don't you worry. It won't be long before you show off just how spectacular and wise you really are. And so that's what I wanted to get across to everyone so that we could collectively change the way we feel about ourselves and
Mm.
others, knowing that we are sacred and that we are wise.
Listen, I hope I don't start to cry. Listen, this is what a beautiful message, Mama Louise. And in your way of being, you exude graciousness anyway. You give grace. And what I love about this is there's so many people who teach and preach, and they do it the way they do it. But I love that you create an opening to go, it's all right, and it's all gonna be all right.
That's right.
And when did you learn that? When did you figure that out? I know you came in
You
here
know,
wise, but when did you figure it out?
because this is the way I was raised. My chapter is the womb of wisdom in Harlem. And because I was raised around manifestors, these were men and women who were basically second generation out of slavery. And
Mhm.
so they taught wisdom every day of your life. And so it was just like drinking water. Every day there was an elder, there was a young person letting you know you were special, giving you different methods on using your wisdom on how to negotiate and navigate. You're in New York City. So, and there's no cell phone. So you've got to learn really quickly how to navigate life as a
Mhm.
young person. And people are not driving you to the volleyball practice. They're giving you a token and putting you on the train and saying, go ahead and make sure you come back on time. So many different people were always teaching you this love and this knowledge. And so
Mhm.
I've had it since, like I said, from the time I can remember because of the adults that raised me.
Right. But I want to thank all the adults that raised you,
Thank
because they saw in you and nurtured you, and I think a lot of times, and you've said before that Harlem itself, the womb of Harlem, all of Harlem raised you,
yeah,
all of New York raised you, and you were able to get that pretty early and look back and go like, oh my goodness, I became who I am because of where I was.
yeah,
And I just want to thank all of those elders and adults who gave you those nuggets early on. I think so many times parents are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And you don't know that you're doing it. Even if you don't think that you know what you're doing, your children are picking it up. And one of my favorite stories that you tell, and I don't remember if it ended up in the chapter. And this is, again, I think what, in my mind, I think what has made you, as I perceive you, to be so gracious and so understanding and so, what's the word, non-judgmental,
right,
is you would talk about even, some of the folks that we would look at as unsavory were giving you wisdoms. You talked about, you would see some of the junkies, and even they wanted to protect you. So we see those as people like, what's wrong with you? You got on drugs, you messed up your life. What's wrong with you? But even they knew, and they had wisdom to share with you. And do you want to share one of your stories about that? Just what they would say
you
and
know, and I grew up in a community where right around the corner was heroin addicts from 3 or 4 blocks from 110th Street to 115th Street. It stopped at the 115th Street because the masjid was there. So that's where it all ended. But along the way, sometimes a heroin addict might be nodding and they would pick their head up just at the right moment to say, where you think you going? I know whose niece you are. Get on out of there. You know what I'm saying? You think they're asleep, but they wide awake. Everybody's watching you to make sure you stay safe. Or they will have a nugget. Listen here, girl. Don't you ever touch this stuff again. Let me show you what it does to you. You go get your education. So it was always this love. And that's when I came back from college. That was the first job that I had, was going into working in the drug rehab as a payback. I wanted to return so much love and protection that they gave me and my friends and my cousins. As we were teenagers growing up, they were always looking out for us and encouraging us. You can do it. Go get that education. Mr. Willie, he was was inebriated all the time, but yet the whole neighborhood took care of him. And so Mr. Willie taught me about unconditional love. That that no matter what his condition was, every day we would wipe him up, take a washcloth, clean him up, give him some food, send him up, put him back to the building real good, and then we go on our way. But as life has happened, and I think of Mr. Willie, I think of love and how he just allowed us to love on him and honor him for who he was, our elder in wisdom. And so that's how it's all come about. And so that's why I want to ask everyone, just look at your situation and embrace it with a lot of love. And the knowledge will come from it. You'll see.
You see why I called on her when I was going through a tough time? This is who you want to work with. This is who you want to surround yourself with. And whether or not you have people like this or this woman right here, this beautiful soul right here in your life, look in your world and see that they're already there. They're already there. So thank you, Mama Louise. Thank you.
Welcome, my love. Thank you for this opportunity.
I'm headed in your direction next week. We got to have a cup of tea. That's all I got to say.
Good. Come forward. I love you so much, my love. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
My love. Bye-bye.
All right. Edward is crying. Me too. I got my tissue handy. Annette Ware says, I grew up in Harlem as well. I will always cherish my childhood. Thank you, elders. Well, I was, a few miles in the other direction over in Brooklyn, having my own version of those experiences. These big cities, you encounter life on the streets all the time. And you learn early on to navigate like a beautiful, you navigate this sort of amusement park of life. And I just want you all to hear a nugget that also Mama Louise just gave us, that Mr. Willie was willing to receive the help. He was willing to receive the help. So you might be someone who not only sees a Mr. Willie in your life that could use a little bit of help, go love on Mr. Willie, but you might in your own way be Mr. Willie in your own way. Receive help if people want to help you out. Receive help. There's people watching over you, and just believe that. And if you believe that, it is absolutely true. All right. I see. Oh, yeah, that's right, Edward. You from Detroit. Listen, Mr. Roebuck, I know Detroit don't play. That's actually one of the reasons why I resonate with Detroit so much. When I go, it feels like home. It feels like Brooklyn, that same experience. Okay, come to the stage is Deborah Bonaparte. Deborah Bonaparte's coming to the stage.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello.
Great.
It's fine. I'm so happy to have you. Deborah is a wonderful orator, a wonderful artist, and so willing to be generous and vulnerable and share her world so that others will be healed. What made you say yes to the Wisdom Gifts experience? If you're just coming in, this is what we're talking about. Deborah's one of the 29 authors in the Wisdom Gifts book right now.
Can you hear me?
I can, sure can.
Okay, all right. Hey, y'all were, oh gosh, this last day, I came in on time. Y'all talking to Mama Louise. I just got, this is forever education me. And then y'all talking about Detroit. That's where I'm from. So born and raised.
Yeah, no,
So
Yeah.
yeah. What got me was I mean, this the story that I contributed is something that I've been thinking about writing for over 20 years. I the experience I shared, a very vulnerable experience, and but I've been talking about it for a long time, and I kept saying, and matter of fact, I tried to write, I was going to write about it before some years ago, probably about 10, 15 years ago, and it wasn't right. It didn't there's a lot. I would personally, I want to thank you. That is what we got with this book, being contributing authors, and the amount of skill and experience and marketing stuff that stuff costs. Years ago, I had an offer to write a book, but it was just to write it and get it published. It was no marketing behind it. It was none of that stuff behind it, and it was up there. And so I just kind of, no, this is not the time. So then when you made the offer that you made, it's like, and then when you said something you said earlier, a story in you that you didn't want to tell but needed to be told. And I really did not want to tell it. But at the same time, I do realize that the experience, I'm sure, will save some lives. And and that was my focus when I decided to. It was like, okay, how many people have given up and thrown in the towel because I didn't speak up earlier. And so that was my motivation for writing the book, or writing my section in the book. And I'm looking over these acronyms right now. I am probably on the intentional. I think mine was probably Triumph, I believe. But mine's kind of fell in a few of these.
It did.
But right now I'm living my life much more intentionally. Focusing on a lot of self-love. I've been traveling and doing some other things. Right now I'm doing a house sit, so that's part of my travel.
Nice. You also have some bucket list. So there was a bucket list place you wanted to go. I can't remember now.
It was Tanzania, and I did go there. A matter of fact, I think when I was in your original group, I had already booked the trip.
Nice.
And I think that came right before the writing of my chapter. But yeah, and that was just happenstance. There was a group that one of my sisters told me about, and I jumped in, just kind of, during, the flip side of COVID is that airfare was relatively cheap. And I found the price on the ticket. Well, the person who was doing the trip had prices on tickets that were less than, gosh, probably about a fourth of what they were before. And so I jumped on it, and I saw on my bucket list was Serengeti Natural Park. And so I went ahead of the group. So I was there for about 8-10 days before they got there. And, the numbers were down a little bit. So I ended up being on a safari basically a solo safari with a guide.
A luxury experience. But there was something that you said that just hit me too, that you said, it was just by happenstance you were able to go. But I really wonder if, because you had this intention of going for a while, and because it was on your list, and I mean, I called it a bucket list. I don't know if you refer to it that way.
It is. It's been on my list for 40 years.
Right. Look at that. And so when the opportunity presented itself, you were ready. So I hope y'all heard that wisdom, that there are things that happen by happenstance or by coincidence or by what's the word of synchronicity. But if you've put the intention out into the universe, The universe is listening. God is listening. The creator,
Yes.
source, however you language is like, wait a
Yes.
minute. I have an opportunity for her, and it's going to be 1/4 the price. And I would wish that for
Yes.
anybody else here. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Deborah. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful that you said yes to this. And we know that Deborah is also, she's one of those, I'll just love on you and then I'll let you go. She's one of those artists. So she's an artist, but one of these artists who is proficient in like 17 different styles of art. You know, there's some people who can paint real well, and some people can sing real well, and some people can write real well. Deborah is one of those rare jewels who, when she puts her hand and her mind and her heart into something, it creates beauty in so many different ways. And thank you
Um,
for,
thank
um,
you.
how do I want to say, showing us that that can happen. I celebrate you, and thank you for
Thank
saying
you.
yes to this experience.
I,
Thank you.
yeah, I call myself trying to act. So
Oh,
we're gonna see. We're gonna see if it transfers to that.
I bet
So
you could do that too. Thank you,
yes, but
Deborah. Thank you.
I thank you so much for this opportunity. I
My pleasure.
really, this was really, I heard him saying cathartic. This is really
Yeah.
a is catapulting me to to my better half of my life,
Oh,
because I intend on being here to 120. So
well, come on. We need you here. We need you here
so
that long. Thank you.
yes, yes.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
so
insight.
much.
Thank you,
All
Deborah
right.
Bonaparte. Oh, this is good. Are y'all enjoying yourselves? All right. So somebody said this book was such a great idea. Um, I wanted to so for those of you who may have come in late, and by the way, I just got a beautiful note from the beautiful Dr. EJ. And it was something you had said that I wanted to repeat for everybody. It'll come back to me. Something that I think Deborah just said, and that Mama Louise, and actually each of these authors have been saying, as you're sharing your wisdom with others, I mean, just on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, at your job, with your family, with your friends, maybe you decide to become an author also, maybe you decide to become an author again, write a, write something, write a play, write a movie, whatever it is you do to get your wisdom out. And this is something that Dr. EJ always says, that you are an answered prayer. So, a nugget that you have, some wisdom that you have, a product that you create, that product that you've already created, a product that you fit to create, is an answered prayer. Someone right now is saying, oh, I wish that this existed. Oh, I wish I had a solution to so and so. They're praying for your solution, and you are the solution. And so that's why you need to get your wisdom into the world. You need to get your products and your ideas into the world. This is why I am still an actress and a comedian and a speaker and all the things. And I just booked something today that I can't talk about. I'm so excited. I won't say a word, but it's big. It's a bucket list for me that I didn't even know was on my bucket. I forgot that it was on my bucket. Okay, I stop. Okay, I stop. Okay, I stop. But it's one of the ways, what? Somebody said say that. I will. It's one of the ways that I get to share my gift in the world. One of my gifts is love and laughter and reminding other people that they have gifts. And so I've created this whole series of books. Open Your Gifts, Open Your Gifts 1, Open Your Gifts 2, for those of you who may have come late. And then Open Your Gifts 3 is the latest version. Wisdom Gifts. Wisdom Gifts. Sharing your wisdom with the world. Now, GIFTS is an acronym for gratitude. Where am I? Gratitude, intention, forgiveness, triumphs, and self-love. So I filter all these ideas through the lens of looking at life as if it's a gift, looking at uh, my experiences and your experiences and your whole life as if you are a gift. So if you are a gift, and you're a gift. There, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you're wondering, am I a gift? Yep, you're a gift. You came here to be a gift, and to be a gift for others, and to be a gift for yourself, and to open your gift and share it with others. You're welcome. If you got nothing from this conversation yet, that's where you are. You're welcome. And the way that I think that you expand yourself and open yourself up and do what you were sent here to do by the ancestors, by the elders, by by God, the creator, the universe, however you language it, like I say, if you were sent here and you were to be a gift, the way that you unlock and open your gifts is by and there's many ways to do it, but these are the 5 ways I've come up with for now. And this is about being on purpose and in your purpose and in your passion and in what you're meant to do. It's to be grateful, period. Be grateful and be grateful for what you already have and what's fitting to come. Be grateful for all your experiences, all your journey, all the yummy and yucky of all of it. Just be grateful, like, yep, thank you that came. Now I know. Glad I learned that. Glad I have that. Glad I want that. Glad I even have the desire to have something bigger, better, different, whatever that is. Glad that desire lives in me. Glad and grateful and thankful. That's the G. The I is about being intentional. Deborah and I just talked about that. One of the other ladies and I just talked about being intentional on your life. If you don't know where you're going, you won't know when you got there. I forgot who said that. If you don't know where you're going, you won't know when you've arrived. Forgot who said that. Decide where you want to go. Be intentional. Make choices. Even if you don't know what the way to go, what do I do? Which way do I go? Make a choice, because the unfolding of that choice will give you what? Wisdom. You'll either know that was the right thing to do, or that was not quite the right thing to do, but at least I got the lesson. By the way, that's the thing about mistakes. There really are no mistakes. There are only lessons and ways not to do it. Be intentional. Have a path for your life. Even if you're not sure that it's the right path to go, just make a choice and get to walking, because the path will unfold the way it should. F is for forgiveness. The F in my acronym is for forgiveness. Forgiveness to me is about letting go of all that no longer serves you. Letting go that something that happened could have been any different. I think Oprah used to talk about that. She has a quote about forgiveness is about letting go that whatever happened could have been any different. It's like you just let it go. And in the interim, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know, what you did do, what you didn't do, what you should have done. Let it go, because it opens your heart for so much more. I always, those of you know me, I've used this analogy before. Yeah, Denise, conscious intention is everything. It's like, I just need to be intentional. I just need to make a choice about this. And I've made a choice about letting go which doesn't serve me anymore. And the example I always give is, we all have a closet full of things that don't even fit anymore. They're out of style. You may have like an old coat that don't fit no more. It's itchy and scratchy and has a few moth holes in it. And it's out of style. Why are you keeping that coat in your closet? You're never going to wear it again. You shouldn't wear it again. It don't fit and it's itchy and scratchy and has some moth holes. And yeah, you could sew up the moth holes, or you could just get rid of it and make room for a whole new coat. And if you can't get a coat, get you a sweatshirt. If you can't get you a sweatshirt, get you a new scarf and tie up your neck and keep your neck warm until you can get yourself a brand new coat. Let that go to create room for more. Whatever the thing is, let it go. All right. And then the T in my little acronym is for being for triumphs, for identifying where you are triumphant, where you have been triumphant. It's acknowledging where you are already magnificent. The T for triumphs is the truth, another T word, standing on the truth of your magnificence, the truth that you belong here, the truth of your worth, the truth of your gift, the truth of your magic, the truth of your wisdom. And, we'll have a longer conversation about this, another conversation about this some other time, but I know that now there's a lot of conversations around imposter syndrome and am I enough, and do I know enough, and do I belong, do I have permission? If you stand in the truth that you do belong, that you do have permission, that you are enough, that you are just enough. You might even be too much, and that's okay too. The truth is, and when I say too much, we criticize people for being too much. They're not too much, they're just being their authentic selves, their truthful selves. So you stand in the truth in knowing that just by being, just by showing up, just by showing up here right now, you belong, you're enough, your wisdom is enough, your gifting is waiting for you to be opened and shared with others, and that it's valuable, and others will be so grateful that you showed up, did that thing, wrote that book, made that speech, had that baby, married that person, fill in the blank. And the S, which I was talking about earlier with Lana, is for self love. And that self love is the foundation of everything in your life. That any place you want to go and anything you want to do, you're going to have to love yourself. It's required. The price of admission is self love. That's it. You get the self love piece of it right. And I don't mean right as in right or wrong. You figure out that, wait a minute, let me just go ahead and love on myself real quick. Everything else opens up. Because I think the creator goes, wait a minute, I sent her there. I sent him there. I sent them there to do something, and they're loving themselves. Great. Let me send some more ideas, some more desires their way, some more resources their way to make their dream come true. Because you are designed to have your dream come true. You're here because you're here to do big things, not even like little itty bitty things. You're here to do big things. And sometimes the little things lead to the big things. Just do the thing that is in your soul, that is in your calling. If it's calling you and tap you on the shoulder, you're supposed to do it. And the how will show up because you'll step in and the way will present itself. And you'll step in a little further and people, places, and things. Let me tell you, Dr. Jeter, I'm going to Greece with Dr. Jeter. You think Greece wasn't on my bucket list? I was like, I'll go there someday. One day I'll go. And then as we were talking in this process, she was like, oh, I have a group that I take to, around the world every year. I was like, what? I get to come and speak and be in Greece and travel on a boat to the Greek Isles? Yes. And a few weeks later, I'm going to Egypt, which is a whole nother story. Yes, all of it can unfold for you. It's all possible. The way is waiting for you. Devon, thank you. Thank you. All right. So what are we up to now, Dr. EJ? Who's next? The Wisdom Gifts book. Oh, here we go. The Wisdom Gifts book. It's available. And wisdomgiftsbook.com. We are becoming a bestseller tonight. In case y'all didn't know that, this is a bestseller blitz. Help us to get our voices and our wisdom further out into the world. And speaking about getting our wisdom and our voices further out into the world, let me introduce you to someone I have known for many, 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 many years. I won't tell your age, but I think I'm a little older than you. Cleopatra White has entered the room. Hello, Cleopatra. Speaking of Egypt, speaking of Africa, here we go. Hello, Cleopatra. Unmute thyself. So that's Cleopatra.
Hello.
Hello. So Cleopatra and I went to high school together a long time ago, not so long ago. And Cleopatra said yes to being in this book. And Cleopatra has had an experience in life that she has now turned into a whole brand. And I'm going to be quiet and let you talk about it. Cleopatra, talk a little bit about your chapter, and we're going to talk about how you've turned your experience into a way that you are helping others.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for this opportunity, Kim. I would never have dreamt this that this would ever have happened.
Oh.
And so, and my category is gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And my gratitude came from having my mom, who was in the final stage of Alzheimer's, come to live with me because, of course, she could no longer take care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, I learned so many things about not only my mom, but about her sister who passed back in the early 70s, so I really never knew her.
Mm-hmm.
And through my mom's deteriorating memory, and all she had left were the long term memories,
Mm-hmm.
I learned about her sister
Mm-hmm.
as they're growing up, as they became adults, and up until the point where she passed, and she was unfortunately brutally murdered in London.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was with me, and my mom was going through this horrible disease of Alzheimer's, which I'm learning as I'm going along. Because at first, I thought when she first came to live with me, it'd be like old times. We'd go shopping, make dishes, and it turned out to be anything but that. And I, who am already a planner, I plan everything, I organize everything. We had family trips. I planned all our family trips. We got from point A to point B, sometimes 20 people. And I found myself drowning in trying to organize doctor's appointments, specialists, caregivers, and and finding some way to cope. And it was hard not being able to, talk to everybody about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of my family were in denial about the whole situation.
Yeah.
So I found one way I found was journaling. And I usually journaled, and that's how I came to, saying yes to writing this chapter, because I was always writing and I thought one day I'll write a book.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always writing, I was always journaling, and then I found journaling to be an outlet
Mm-hmm.
of what I was going through. And so I was planning, I was journaling, I was organizing, setting goals, but I had like several different books, journal, sticky notes, to do lists, everything. And I thought, this is just ridiculous. I need to keep it all together. And so I went out looking for something that had an all in one planner, organizer, and journal, and couldn't find that. And so I said to myself, I'll create my own.
I hope you all are listening to this. You need something, you want a solution for something, and you go searching, searching, and you give up, or you create it for yourself. And then what had happened?
So that's how the Black Planner was born. And so it's an elegant way of keeping your life together, keeping there's a space for self-care and gratitude and mind, body, and spirit
Mhm.
journaling. There's a lot of space for writing everything down. It just is a holistic opportunity that you can just you know get centered
Yeah.
in. So
So
I oh, go ahead.
I cut you off. I'm sorry. It's called the Black Planner. I didn't want anybody to miss that. She's created out of her own journey, out of her own need, something called the Black Planner. And she put everything in it that she needed at the time that she was going through caring for her mom: a place to journal, a place for gratitude, a place to keep the doctor's appointments together, and a place for self-care, because as a caregiver, um, what I know about being a caregiver from my small experience with my dad, who also had Alzheimer's, is that you must take care of yourself. You must care for yourself as you're caring for your loved one, and that you created this all-in-one Black Planner. And then the other piece of it, so somebody right now, remember I said just a second ago, there's somebody praying for a solution. I don't know what to do. How do I keep it all together? The other piece of it that I love that you added to it was that you added, I won't tell it, you tell. What did you add to the Black Planner that really made it that extra
So
oomph?
the Black Planner has tidbits of Black history facts,
Yeah,
so that you have an inspiration of all that our ancestors have accomplished.
I love it. Is it the blackplanner.com or blackplanner.com?
It's actually Lifestyles in Black,
That's right.
.com.
Lifestylesinblack.com. And I love that that is what you've done is created an even bigger vessel. It's not just the Black Planner, which is lovely and big and amazing. You've created a conversation around having a lifestyle that is one that is goal oriented and on plan and on plan and on purpose, and a place for everything to be um, chronicled and held so that you can then pass it down to um, your ancestors. We always talk about the ancestors. Does that mean that we're the ancestors? I don't know, Cleopatra. I'll be making up words. Thank you so much for your generosity and sharing your story. I want to tell you also on a personal note, I appreciate how much you love an Excel sheet. I can't do it. I can't do it. You give Cleopatra an Excel sheet. She's like, oh, yay. I'm like, yay. What are you talking about? But this is where we get to celebrate other people's gifts and wisdom and abilities. And just thank you for being you, and thank you for still being in my life and adding your wisdom to what? The Wisdom Gifts book. And everyone, you can go to Lifestyles in Black so you can get your copy of the Black Planner and all that Cleopatra has planned for that brand. It's really awesome. So
Thank you, Kim.
thank you. And you just celebrated your anniversary and birthdays and all kinds of things. Now I know that you were the one who planned the trips, and y'all be taking trips. I love it. Thank you for also, let me just say this too. Thank you for also demonstrating to us that relationships and marriage can last a long time. I see y'all on beaches and having a good time and really enjoying. And I'm looking forward to seeing your Christmas decorations this year because you don't play.
That's right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Cleopatra. Thank you. Welcome. All right. We've got some people here. Hey, Marie, did you send some stars? Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. You are a star. And you sent us some stars. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see Women of a Certain Age LLC is chiming in. She can relate to everything that she shared. Thank you, Sharon Fletcher Jones. I say your name, and I know that you've gone through the journey. Also, I went through the journey with my dad. It's really quite something, quite something. So Cleopatra, you're getting all kinds of love. I love you back, Keisha. Keisha. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but welcome and thank you. Thank you. Hello from Monaco. Monaco? What? I appreciate you. Hey, Shazo, Spreewell, Norwood, Shazoe. I don't know, but hello. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Go, mommy. I'm so proud of you. Who's the mommy? Who's your mommy, Elisa Marie? Welcome, welcome. Do we have anyone else? So let me just reset the room. If you're just coming in, let me take a sip from my unfiltered conversations with K and C mug. Dr. EJ and I are partners in life and partners in business, and two of Dr. EJ's clients are Candace and Kesa and Candace, and they have a beautiful show called Unfiltered Conversations that they have created because they enjoy sharing their wisdom with the world. I bought their little mugs so I can keep myself moisturized from the inside out. Who's this now? I'm getting notes. I feel like this is a telethon. Devon Golden sent stars. Thank you. I feel like a telethon. Jerry Lewis telethon. You know how he would get his people with comments and donations. Thank you for the stars. You are a star. Thank you, Devon Golden. I appreciate you. So let me reset the room. Hello there. I'm Kim Coles, and I have wisdom. And you too have wisdom. And I have 29 amazing collaborators who agreed to go through an experience with me of writing their own chapter inside the Wisdom Gifts book. Wisdom Gifts, finding and embracing the legacy in our lessons. And I want you to really hear what I said. It's about finding all your lessons. Oh, I see all the lessons. I see you. Man, that was hard. Ooh, that was a hard one. Ooh, that one was easy. Finding it and embracing. There's legacy in them Nar Hills. You know how they used to say, the gold miners used to say, there's gold in them Nar Hills. There's gold all up and through here and all up and through you. and to find it and embrace it and go mining. During this process, we did mine the stories, right, ladies? We went mining and digging and unearthing and birthing your stories to be in this book, and there's 29 amazing authors, and some of them are here with me today. We're talking about their journey towards sharing their wisdom. Now, this book is available right now on Amazon. And tonight's live stream is really, really about becoming a bestseller. Uh, if you go to Amazon right now on Wisdom at Wisdom Gifts book, we've linked that to Amazon, or you can just go to Amazon directly and get it. Wisdom Gifts book. What we've done here is reduce the cost of the book from $24.99. This is going to retail for $24.99 on December 1st. Howsoever, right now, you can get it for $14.99. This is the week of Thanksgiving as I'm recording this, because I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. As we're recording this, I know that everybody's getting hit with Black Friday sales, and I may have an offer that I share with everybody. But right now, the offer is to go to Amazon.com and get this for $14.99, the Wisdom Gifts book. You will see yourself in these authors' stories. They have written stories about their own personal journeys. I'm getting some more notes. Love Keisha stars. Oh, Keisha, thank you for sending. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for the stars. I appreciate stars. I happen to love stars. Do I have any stars up? I have no, for somebody who loves stars, I have no stars other than the, oh, yep, I got, yep, I love stars. Oh, please. I love stars. I'm a star lover, and I have a tattoo of stars. So thank you. When I get stars, I get happy. I forgot what I was saying. I got so happy that I got happy. Um, um, I made the mistake of stopping and looking at the private chat, which I should not have. What we're doing is creating a bestseller before we launch on the 1st. And what happens when you do that is you get the status of being a bestseller. It's like, getting an award, getting an NAACP Image Award, getting an Oscar, getting a star on the Walk of Fame, which is on my bucket list one day. But really, it's about furthering your message. So I'm asking all of you to go and get the book because, number one, you will see yourself in their stories. And I think that's what I was saying before, that these stories are about or from the hearts and the minds and the souls of the people who wrote them. But they shared their stories with you so that you could see that it lives in you as well, that your strength, your wisdom, your knowingness, your inner knowing, your patience, your overcoming, your becoming, all lives within you too. They have gone through it, shared the story, wrote a book about it. Want to read it? Here it go. Who remembers that character from In Living Color? I wrote a book about it. Want to read it? Here it go. I've sort of changed it a little bit. I wrote a story about it. You want to hear it? Here it go. They shared it so that you could see yourself in the pages. Oh wow, I've been strong before. Girl, I came through that too. Girl, is that what you did when you went through that? Here's what I did. I'm just in the space right now where I want to celebrate wisdom all around. And so you're going to help us tonight to become a bestseller. And what happens is it exponentially gets out even further, and that we get to be an answered prayer. And to others who are looking to read, looking to be motivated, looking to be inspired, looking to be lifted in some way, and get to see themselves. So I hope that you share your stories of wisdom. We have somebody coming in. I don't know who's coming in. Somebody's coming in. This is a cavalcade of authors coming in. I want to thank you, EJJ, for what you're doing in the behind the scenes. I see Kesa in the building. Kesa, oh, I'm thirsty right now. Here, let me have a sip. Let me have a sip from the well of knowledge, from the Unfiltered Conversations mug by KNC. It's so refreshing. I'm sipping from the cup of knowledge. Yes, I'm silly. Kesa and Candace do a beautiful show, I believe weekly on Thursdays, right, EJ? Where they share their wisdom and their knowledge, and they are so adorable together. I love you back. I love you back. I represent all the rest.
Devon Golden just purchased the book.
Oh, Devon Golden just purchased the book. Thank you. See, I knew there was gold in them Nar Hills. Thank you so much for getting the book. Thank you so much for the wisdom that you will read all about it. Thank you so much in advance for the inspiration that you're going to get by reading the book to put your wisdom further in the world. What? It all works just like that. It's all one beautiful circle. All one beautiful circle of love. All right, we're looking to bring someone else in. Oh, we have Jamie Brown in the house. Hello, Coach Jamie Brown. Jamie Brown has entered the building. Hello, thank you for being here tonight.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Tell us the other way that you know how to say that you are excited to be here. So Jamie speaks American Sign Language because Jamie is unique in that she lives in two distinct worlds. Would you like to share that with us, Jamie, please?
I am, first, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. This has been an answered prayer, as Dr. EJ has said. And so I am completely deaf in my right ear, and in my left ear, I wear a hearing aid. And so I have been blessed to be in both worlds. But it wasn't always that easy. I hadn't always accepted who I am. And as I have gone through different experiences and learned my way through, I've learned to embrace who I am now and to be the person that I am to support others, the deaf and hard of hearing community as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying yes to this experience. And thank you for standing in the gap, as you know, we always say of bridging the gap in the way that you do, because you have a unique perspective. And I remember, Jamie has been in our programs for a while, and I remember when the pandemic hit, you were in a unique position of there was there was a challenge that you had because now everybody was wearing masks, and because you read lips, you needed to be able to read the lips to really be able to communicate, and you found a way to uh, bridge that challenge as best you could. And do you want to talk about any of that and what you did to navigate that space and how you helped others to navigate that space also?
Well, basically, I had a lot of mentees and mentors that have come to me and asked me for support around the deaf and hard of hearing community and what ways that we could rise above it. And so some of the communities started to create their own masks. They became entrepreneurs. They, created their own masks with adding the clear shield piece of it to fabric and just trying to figure out how can we rise above it. But I've also supported them in different ways of doing different resources. I'm actually, as we speak right now on this particular interview, I'm actually looking at closed caption that I have to use in order to communicate. I'm going to show you exactly as I'm doing it. If you could see the closed caption speak coming through. This is one of the resources that I use when I'm on the internet or on a phone call or in person. This is what I used when I was out in the community trying to navigate going to the bank, going to different places where mask was mandated. And so this is one of the ways that I have given a tip to the deaf community to be able to do that. Wow. And to be a support, a listening ear during the pandemic, to support them as a life coach, to be an encourager. I just love to encourage people where they are and to support them and to just love on them.
Who encouraged you when you needed it most?
I would say my grandmother. My grandmother encouraged me. She's one of the reasons why I love pearls. She has the wisdom pearls. She's blessed me with this. My mom And just I have so much support around me, and so because I've learned and had that same support, I feel the need and the love and the calling to support others in those spaces as well.
Thank you for doing that. And you do um, label yourself an encourager. There's people who call themselves things, but they not really those things. Jamie's one of those people who calls herself this and she embodies it. So thank you for being an embodied encourager. You show up powerfully as that all the time. And one of the things I was saying earlier, for anybody who wasn't here, I was talking about one of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou is that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Well, you've always showed yourself as an encourager, and it's easy to believe because that's exactly who you are and what you do. And I've said this a few times, and I want to make sure I say it since you're here tonight too. It was actually you that encouraged me to do this book. I think we were on a call and you were like, "Hey, Coach Kim." By the way, that's my little secret thing that those of you who know that I coach, my nickname is Coach Kim, and I love it because in all other worlds I'm Kim Coles, but in this world I get to be Coach Kim. You're, "Hey, Kim, Coach Kim, have you ever thought of doing another anthology?" And as I shared with you all before, I had book number 1 and book number 2, and I was like, "Jamie, I ain't thought about doing another anthology." She said, "Oh, it might be a good time," and I was like, I think I'm being encouraged to do so. So not only did you encourage me, but then you said yes to being in the book and sharing your journey and your story. So thank you for embodying who you say you are.
And thank you. I am just super excited. Let me just share one thing about my chapter was on intention. And I was really intentional because I remember that you wrote the Open Your Gifts 1, Open Your Gifts 2. And I was very intentional about being in that book, that I actually did a digital vision board piece that I would also see. And I'm going to show it to you. So I would always set up.
Wow. Tip it down a little because the light is, wow.
Okay,
What?
so I did. You had it in 2017, the first one. The second one was 2018. And the third one, I created myself when we said at the top of the time when we were in our community mastermind that, hey, this is what we were going to do. So I said, I'm going to wait till the cover comes out to add the third one and continue to be intentional that it keeps flowing. And here we are now. So be intentional with what you want and your purpose and what you desire in life. Trust your own abilities that you have great things within. To invest in yourself, to love on yourself, to stand for what you believe no matter what anyone says, because at the end of the day, you owe it to yourself to love on you and to share what you have. So
Thank you, Coach Jamie. Thank you so much for like I said, embodying the encouragement, for standing in both worlds, and for bridging the gap as only you were uniquely created to do. You all have to read her chapter. She tells some really fun and funny and interesting stories about her growing up and how she stepped up very early to be someone who stood in the gap as an advocate and an encourager for others. So thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you. Thank you.
thank
Jamie
you.
Brown. Thank you. Who do we have next? Do we have someone else on deck, or do you want me to vamp a little bit? Listen, 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 listen. This is wisdom. This is wisdom. This is listening. When Jamie that day said, "Coach Kim, are you going to do another book?" I was like, I wasn't planning on doing it right now. I launched this book. I launched the idea of doing this during my birthday this year. So this year, by the way, I want you all to know that the dreams that you have, the ideas that you have, the projects that you have can happen and can happen relatively quickly. You don't have to wait years and years and years. I'm going to write that book. I'm going to, one day, today is the day. I launched this, I believe I went live on my birthday week. Like my birthday is 1/11, 1/11, 2022. We launched this maybe earlier that week, a few days before. And now on Thanksgiving, here it is. It doesn't take long, it just takes intention. It doesn't take long, it just takes wisdom. It doesn't take long, it just takes knowing that Your life is meant to be shared with others. Your experiences, your gifts, talents, and abilities are meant to be shared with the world. And like I said before, when you say yes in that way, the creator goes, wait a minute. She said, yes, let me send some resources. Wait a minute. She's ready or she's almost ready. Let me get her all the way ready. Let me get him all the way together right now. Like it's waiting for you. Others are waiting for you to share your gifts. And now I'm waiting for someone to come to the stage. I'm waiting for Dr. Peggy. Oh, I'll tell you how to get a copy. Go to wisdomgiftsbook.com. That's wisdomgiftsbook.com. It's on Amazon right now. And right now, the normal cost is $24.99, but oh no, not for you. It's $14.99 until the 1st of December. Now, the 1st of December, we launched this bad boy out into the world. Now, it's in the world right now, but it's just between us that for now, just between us, the thousands of people who are watching, that you can get this now for $14.99 until December 1st when we officially launch. Right here, right now, I've had those of you who are coming in late. I'm talking with some of the 29 authors who said yes to stepping up and sharing their wisdom, their gifts, the legacy in their lessons, the lessons in their legacy out into the world. They said a powerful yes so that you could be a witness that that yes lives in you too. There's gold in them Nar Hills, and you can get you one at wisdomgiftsbook.com. What? Go ahead. Wisdomgiftsbook.com. Welcome to the stage. A wonderful lady, a lady that I just admire and adore. This is Dr. Peggy, everyone. Hello, Dr. Peggy. Oh, you are still muted, madam. Unmute thyself. As Dr.
Hello, Coach Kim. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Dr. Peggy Etheridge Johnson. How do you do? How do you do? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am great. I'm so great and so grateful for this experience and so grateful that you said yes to step up and be a part of the Wisdom Gifts book. You have so much wisdom to share. And every time I'm in your presence, I get to giggle and learn, and that makes me happy. Tell me, what wisdom shall you share with us right now?
Well, Coach Kim, I think that my chapter in this book falls under practically all of the categories. My chapter, of course, is the arranged marriage.
Ooh,
Yes,
provocative. The
marriage.
arranged marriage. Ooh, Dr. Peggy, how
Yes.
long have you been married?
52 years and counting.
And why did you step into, how did you step into, what had happened for you to be in an arranged marriage?
Ooh. Well, in this book, I'm only sharing a portion of my story concerning my marriage, and I think you were the one who encouraged me to share on this topic. And of course, I'm excited about being in this book. First of all, because of your challenge to us to share part of our legacy and our wisdom experiences.
Mhm.
So the reason that my marriage was arranged is because. My husband and I were two unlikely people, not really expecting to be married, not even thinking about meeting one another. And the exciting part about it is that we met in June and we were married in August.
Oh. When you know, right?
Well, we didn't know.
But I
At
know.
least I should say I didn't know.
Yeah.
When he approached me and said that the Lord had told him that I was his wife, I laughed. I immediately laughed because here I was, an 18-year-old, just graduating from high school, coming to Columbia, which is not my hometown, to go to college. And marriage was so far out of my mind that, it was just really not there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I met him through one of his cousins. And as I said, after 2 months of knowing one another, he said that the Lord had said that I was his wife. And I said, he didn't say that to me.
She said, wait a minute, God said that to you, but the Lord did not say that to me.
Right.
So
Yeah,
what
he didn't know that I also could hear a word from the Lord. He did not realize that the Lord also talked to me. And so I was determined that, before I jumped into something as serious as marriage, the Lord was going to be the one who said so.
now what did you ask the Lord to confirm? And I know you talked to him about this, but we didn't talk about this yet. What did you ask for? How did you get as I call them divine downloads? You say that the Lord spoke to you. What did you get? What did you ask to confirm that this was the way that it was supposed to be?
Okay, so we decided that we would go on a fast and that we would pray. And we did this for a number of days. And I think it was a week, maybe 2 weeks, that we decided we would do this. And we would see what the Lord had to say during that time. And so during that time, the Lord spoke to me and said, yes, this is your husband.
Okay.
This is your husband. So that was the only way that, I agreed to it. But, over the years and just really thinking about what happened, how it happened so quickly, how God just everything just kind of fell in place. I realized that God arranged it. He was the one who, I guess from the very beginning of time, even before time, knew that he would put us together. And Jeremiah 29:11 is one of my life verses, and it says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, saith the Lord's plans." God has plans for us that he doesn't always share with us before the time. So he had those plans and he made the arrangements because here we were. He was in college. He was a junior in college. I was about to become a freshman in college. We had no money. We had no money. We had no home. We had no transportation. We had nothing but God.
But
We had
God.
nothing but God.
And you know what I love about your story too, Dr. Peggy, is that, when young people get married very quickly, communities be talking, people be talking. They have their idea of what they think, ooh, what happened here? What has happened here? And you proved God right, is what I would say, right? And, you didn't set out to prove people wrong, but you proved God right by staying together, by thriving together, by having children, having, one of my favorite things I learned from Dr. Peggy, talk about wisdom. She has 3 sons, but she talks about her sons' wives. What do you call them, Dr. Peggy?
They are my daughters in love.
I'd never heard that phrase before. They're her daughters in love.
Yes.
And what was the directive that you gave your sons in order to bring you these daughters in love?
Well, I said to them at a very young age that, because we did not have daughters and we always wanted a daughter, that when they got married, I wanted them to bring me daughters, not daughters-in-law. I wanted them to bring me daughters, those that I could embrace as my very own daughters, knowing that they have mothers.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to feel as if they were my daughters in the marriage and not just in-law. So I heard that phrase, daughter in love, at Columbia International University. And I think it was a colleague that I heard say that about his daughters. And I loved it. I said, I love that. I'm going to use that. And so
It's beautiful.
they brought me all daughters.
I see that. I can tell that when I, see your Facebook posts and you celebrate them and they celebrate you. And I look at the pictures and I go, that's her daughter as much as it is her son's wife. And so
Yeah.
thank you for presencing that. And thank you for, I want you to tell that story because I want people here to hear that, families, expand as we take on mates and take on partners, and that we can be intentional about requesting that the people that come into our families fit so beautifully and perfectly. And thank you for asking for that. And you got it. And you got grandbabies and triplets and all kinds of things. You are a rich, rich, rich woman. Thank you, Dr. Peggy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Kim. Thank you so much for, being the visionary for this book and providing this opportunity for so many um, to be able to share portions of our legacy to the world. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know what a prolific writer you are, so I'm honored that you said yes to be in this book. Dr. Peggy is a professor and a writer herself, and she helps others with their stories and their writing. So for you to take the time to write a story that you hadn't told yet before in this book, I'm just delighted and excited. So thank you, Dr. Peggy. Peggy's
Thank you.
Pearls. Peggy's Pearls.
Peggy's Pearls. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, we have a Femur K. Michelle sent us some stars. I thank you. I thank you. And I see a few people here also got the book. So thank you. I hope that you are those of you who are sending stars and those of you who are supporting us and supporting this conversation. Again, I hope that you see yourself in this in this conversation, in this world of wisdom. And I'm inviting you to get your copy of the Wisdom Gifts book. I guarantee that you will be inspired, delighted, motivated, encouraged. You'll see yourself, you'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll see yourself in these pages as well. This book is not only about me, visionary author, not about all about these 29 other folks, 29 other beautiful souls who said yes to this experience. This book is about you. I wanted it to be an answered prayer for you as well, because you are an answered prayer to others. Now, coming to the stage right now is another one of my authors. Coming to the stage right now is Ernetta Caldwell. Ernetta Caldwell has entered the building. Hello, Ernetta. Thank you for being here.
Hello, Coach Kim. How are you?
I am wonderful, Coach and Nurse Netta. She has many different names and many different things. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Thank you so much for having the vision and the making the decision to also be one of the Wisdom Gifts authors. What made you decide to say yes to this experience?
Yeah, well, I just want to first start off by saying thank you so much for you just being the visionary and just allowing each and every one of us to share our gifts and wisdom with the world.
Yeah.
I said yes to this because number one, working with you just is amazing. I absolutely love and adore you. But I knew that me sharing my life's journey and story, I know that a book will outlive me. And I feel as though it's so important because we never know our story, how it will help someone else that's going through. That woman that says, I want to give up, that woman that says, I want to throw in the towel. But if she could read a book and whatever the wisdom that God has given me and say, you know what, if she's done it, I can do it. So that's why it was so important for me.
Thank you so much for that. And, I want to remind people, I don't think I've told anyone this yet, that not only do we have a book, I did an interview with each author separately. And those interviews are coming out on a YouTube channel. And there's also a podcast. So you can, put the words inside your ears as you're putting it inside your heart, as you're reading it inside the book. So each one of you, your words and your mission and your message will get shared in many, many, many different ways. I really wanted to exponentialize us, and thank you for saying yes to that. And you're also, as all the other authors here, someone who has stepped into the role of sharing their journey in a very vulnerable and very generous way. And there's something that you did in your chapter that was really fun to experience and fun to read, is you created a poem.
Yeah.
What made you decide to tell your story and to include it in the form of prose as well?
Well, when I first was writing, I was like, okay, God, give me direction, lead and guide me. And that's just kind of how it came out. He just gave me a poem. It just started clicking together and the words. And I was like, wow. So I just went with it.
Thank you for that. We had to do some special format and make it fit in the book the right way. It was worth it. It was worth it because it was so unique and so different and so artistic. And you also gave, um, you taught. Many of the authors actually not only taught through just telling their story, but you also gave tips and techniques and sort of the how to. And I appreciate that you organized it in your brain and then organized it on the page that way. What made you decide to do it that way?
Well, see, my chapter is called Intentionally Reinvented. So I went through a lot of different life's experiences. I was at a very, very young age, was violated, was later going through foster care, teen pregnancy, and later on in life would experience going through a devastation of a divorce. And at the time I wanted to give up, but God never gave up on me. And so I wanted to really just teach back, because that's what it's all about. I could have walked away angry. I could have been bitter. I could have been sad and living my life just like, okay, I have nothing to live for. But I knew if I would walk in forgiveness, that my life will turn out better. I knew if I would love, even when I didn't feel love, maybe I was, abandoned, rejected, God still gave me love. So all of these things, self-love is very important, having faith, a prayer life. So I just really teach you all the lessons and wisdom nuggets that I've learned to get me to where I'm at, because I heard this quote. It says, sometimes there's difficult roads that lead to a beautiful destination. And that's the story.
That's true. Thank you. May I borrow that? Thank you. Difficult roads that lead to a beautiful destination. You are the embodiment of that as well. And, I have to give a personal note that one of the things that I have in common with Ernetta, and one of the reasons why I resonate with her, is that so she has a passion and a gift that she shares as a nurse in a school. And by the way, going through the pandemic with Ernetta was really um, powerful and interesting, because it was a set of eyes that we could not have had, the group that we were in, the community mastermind, to talk about how she was able to love and support and nurture the children she was working with. So there's that side. And she's a wife and she's a mother. There's that side. And then she's an author herself. And then there's that side. And then she's a coach herself. And then there's that side. And then my other thing that's just for us is that Ernetta is also an actress. And so it's fun to watch you navigate all of your worlds so beautifully. And then, put out in the world, oh, hey guys, I'm going to be in a play this weekend. What? What did you, hey, I'm in a new movie. What did you think? And so I love that you, from my eyesight, from the way I see you, is you are expressing all parts of yourself. And so could you speak to what it takes for us to express all parts of ourselves? And I bet you even have some stuff we don't even know about yet. What does it take to express ourselves that way?
Well, it's definitely getting to really know yourself. So in this, when I say God intentionally reinvented me, through all of my life's experiences, it taught me about the self-love. It taught me to walk in confidence. It taught me to believe in myself. So whatever dreams and goals that you may have, that you sometimes we put things to the wayside and said, I can't do it. I'm doing too much. But the key is if you keep moving forward and take baby steps to do the things you love, that passion, purpose, everything is going to fall into place. So I'm all about women saying, let's go. But it's about the balance. And the balance is just doing what you can, taking off with your plate. Sometimes we have to reevaluate. See, this year for me was like, okay, I got to automate, delegate, and reevaluate. So there was things I had to move to the side, but when you know that you have a passion to do things, you keep going and you don't stop because you never know what's going to happen.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ernetta, for sharing that. I love watching your journey, and I love watching you allow all of your passion, all of your gifts come forth. And anyone who follows Ernetta or sees her in her excellence in this area can be reminded that you can, I'm going to put quotes around this, have it all, because it all already lives inside of you. You just have to, what'd you say, delegate, recalibrate.
Delegate, automate, and reevaluate.
Woo! As you are reinvent. I cut you off. Say again.
Oh, and put God first in all things that you do. That's number one.
I know that's what you do, and you are a prayer warrior for real, for real. Thank you, Ernetta Caldwell, for showing up so fully in this world and to remind the rest of us that it's available to us. So thank you so much, Ernetta Caldwell. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I can't tell my special secret, but I can't wait for you to hear what just happened today. The actress side of me got something really cool, and you in particular will get it and love it. I can't wait to share it with you. I can't tell nobody, can I, EJ? I can't tell nobody. Look who's. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. How are we going to talk at the same time if we're in the same room?
I don't know.
I'm going to turn my thing down.
We can't tell anybody yet.
Okay.
But the ladies want to come back, and I'm gonna bring them back on for a second because they like to share with the audience what it was like to actually work with you, because it's a unique experience to work with Kim and what she does and how she helps to pull things out of people that they don't necessarily always want to say or share. And so we thought we'd bring everybody on just to share what their personal experience was like having you as their writing coach, getting feedback from you, and co-creating this beautiful piece of literature together. So, ladies, anybody want to go and share about your experience working intimately with Kim?
Okay, well, I'll go first. Am I muted?
Oh, I can't hear. Oh,
yes.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to say, because I've been working with Coach Kim for several years at the beginning of COVID, as well as through this book anthology, and I would like to say that she is a celebrity that is down to earth, loving, kind, wise, intelligent, and funny. She naturally makes you laugh, and that's what I really love about her, is that she makes me laugh without trying to make me laugh, and that she's just a genuine person who loves people. And uh, I have a little secret. I didn't know who she was when when I started working with her, and I guess I was probably the first person, that the only person in the group who didn't know who she was at first. I was thinking she was someone else, and then I discovered she wasn't, and then I said, "Well, who is she?" Because I'd never seen any of her shows. So everybody thinks that's ridiculous, but it's the truth. And I just love her. She is encouraging. I could just say a lot of things about her, but I'm going to give everyone else an opportunity to share also. But she's so encouraging. She's so wise, and she has experience in so many different areas. She's also a little bit shy, believe it or not, but you know, she know how to bring it, y'all. Thank you, Coach Kim.
Thank you, Dr. Peggy. Thank you. I'm an extroverted introvert or an introverted extrovert, but it's not about me. It's about you all. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. I receive. You want to make me cry, Dr. EJ.
I can go next. Um, I was the opposite. I was starstruck. I was like, okay, how I'm gonna calm down. This is Kim Coles, and be professional. So once I did that, I was struck by Kim's heart. Her heart is huge. Uh, when we wrote our chapters and turned them in the first time, she took the time to go line by line and talk about each and everything that we did, and so positive, bringing everything to light, just full of love. So it was wonderful working with Kim.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being willing to, um, I see things, I hear things, and I am always looking for the bigger picture. And thank you for trusting that, and writing a chapter that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Lana.
For me, she spoke to the heart. I just love the fact that she embraced me for me. No, a non-judgmental, no judgment zone, and just really just hold space, a safe space that you can be able to express yourself and be who you are, the way you are, just as you are. Even the way she says your kooky self, honey, I'm so bubbly. So I resonated with that. So I was just like, wow, that was just amazing. There was been some times where in the chapter, I was like, I don't want to do it. She coached me through. She's like, no, you're gonna do this, but she showed me some tough love. And it was really hard because it was some traumas that I had that I had to bring out into it. And I just didn't want to go in there. So she said, you know what? She gave me some grace, and she said, you know what? Go have a cup of tea, come back. We gonna do this again. And but you gonna do this book. I want this. You gonna have this chapter in here. And so the fact that it was that tough love that, and that push, I'm so thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. Bubbly recognizes bubbly. Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you all so much. Anyone else? Thank you so much for sharing. I enjoyed having all of you in this experience. I think someone else unmuted.
Oh, I did. Okay, I want to say I love, love, love working with Kim. And I knew Kim from high school, and she's always been this genuinely great, warm person. I remember being in High School Musical with Kim before High School Musical was a thing. And I remember the thing I remember about Kim was she was putting everyone at ease, while we were performing, being nervous about being on stage, whatever it is, Kim was there to put everyone to ease. And then when I was working with her on this book and my author bio, just her knowledge and inspiration was so phenomenal. I actually said to you, I said, had I had you as an, writing teacher, I would have been an author.
That's so sweet. Thank you. I don't think anyone should discourage anyone. Just who was that person to discourage you? You're actually an excellent writer, and so thank you for that, Cleopatra. I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.
And I wanted to share. I I enjoyed working with you because you were so encouraging. Like somebody said about, I think Jamie just said about going through different traumas. Um, my chapter was kind of pulling stuff out, but it was more. But the missing element that I've had over the years was the encouragement, the looking at things from a positive side, as like, this is a lesson. What did you learn out of this lesson? um and I was, a little, kind of, a little bit, not too far in. I felt kind of obligated, because it was like, when we had talked about, nobody wanted to share you, and just because of some of the things that we hear on the media about celebrities that are, stalked, and have their personal space invaded and stuff like that. That's kind of where I was coming from initially, about not wanting. It's like, okay, well, if we're not going to share her, then we need to go with. I need to go with this, you know. So so um so it was that was quite a bit of it, but it was, even in that, it was still that encouraging, the giving, and it was like, okay, um feeling valued. So that's why that's why I'm gonna get off, because I'm gonna get ready to get emotional.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Deborah.
thank you.
I just want to say something really quickly. What Deborah's speaking to is I've had a couple of coaching programs, and sometimes on my own and sometimes with Dr. EJ, who you all have met. And we were getting ready to reopen the doors of this particular coaching program. And I was like, please share this with people you know. And they were like, we're not sharing you. No, we keep you to ourselves. And it was like, come on. So it's this really interesting dichotomy of people, you all wanting to protect me. So I feel like my job is to create safe space, because people have created safe spaces for me in coaching, and being somebody who's been out in the public eye, and times it can be really crazy, like you're saying, Deborah, and you're kind of exposed. So my job is to create a safe space where there will be no judgment, and I'm only going to see the beauty in you and the positivity in you. And then I was saying, hey, share me with other people. You're like, no, I don't know. Now, I don't know, part of it was that you were protecting me from folks getting access to people not valuing it the way you did. So it's a really weird that
I
once
think it was both. For me,
yeah,
it was more so protecting you, but it was also with my story, also trying to protect myself.
absolutely.
So, but yeah, most of it was to protect you.
I felt
I
that.
think.
I felt that.
Yeah.
And so while I'm saying, hey, share it with the world, you're like, wait a minute now. We've created a safe container. We can't be letting all these strangers up in our space. And I understand that too. So it's a weird and beautiful space to be in. And I'm grateful for all of it, Thank you. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for your honesty. Cases says they want to protect me too. Thank you. Did everyone have a chance? Oh,
Working with Kim was exceptional because she is an extractor of stories. She will extract to the bottom of the pit of your belly that story out of you. And I told her, I was like, wait a minute. Now, this was supposed to be just 4, 5, 6 pages on wisdom, and it was supposed to be a breeze. I didn't know you was going to be pledging me. Okay. That's what I told her, because she really made you dig for your own greatness. And that in itself was just a priceless experience. I was so happy that she kept saying, nope, you're going to dig, you're going to produce, and it's going to be great. And that's what you had no choice but to show up that way. And so, thank you, my love, for really embracing all of our stories genuinely. Like was said earlier, Kim took her time and read every line of your story and was able to come back and show you how you could expand yourself, how you can go ahead and feel free to share who you really are to the world. And I think for all of us, that was just a magnificent experience that I know we'll never forget. So thank you, my love, for it all. I love you, sweetheart.
I love it too, Mama Louise. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Extractor. I'm an extractor, an expander.
Yes.
I'm all about that. Yes, life. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I think Ernetta had raised her hand too. Thank you, Ernetta.
Yes, I just wanted to say working with Coach Kim is amazing. You are definitely an angel on earth. Your heart is bigger than your body, and your patience, you just having the wisdom gifts to even just see the best in each and every one of us. Sometimes when I doubted or I said, no, I don't think I should do this, you were like, no, let's go, let's do it, like everyone said. So I just thank you for seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself to give to the world.
Whew, I'm gonna cry. Don't need to cry. I got lashes on it, and one of my lashes, I didn't glue it down enough, so I'm not gonna cry right now. Y'all not gonna make these lashes lift up on me tonight. My lashes won't lift, but my soul feels lifted right now. Thank you all so much for that, those powerful words, and it feels like a delicious tribute, and it reminds me that I am indeed on the right path. If you all feel that way, then I've done something that feels good in the world. So thank you all so much. Thank you. I'm looking forward to as my lashes are lifted and my spirit are lifted, I'm looking forward to all of you being lifted. You know, part of this experience, and I told everyone, I'll tell everyone watching this right now, part of this book, part of getting this book out into the world was not only getting the wisdom out into the world, getting these beautiful stories out into the world, getting people to share their journey so that others could see that their journey is worth sharing also, and see themselves in the journey. Um, Part of it too is to lift each of these people and their platform and their experience. And so I'll give you a little secret behind the scenes that it's also meant to be a tool that each of these ladies will use in their business. Because each of these ladies has a way that they affect their worlds and affect their people and affect their audiences and their customers and their clients. So now they have a piece of, it's a what they call a book, a business card that no one ever throws away. Nobody throws away books. At least we don't do that anymore. There's a point where people were burning books, but this will remain on people's shelves and by their bedsides and in their hearts. And it's meant to be a tool that goes before you and it says, this is my story. This is what I want to share in the world. And by the way, I also help people in this way. So it's meant to also lift each of you as you're already lifting in the world too, right? And I hope that makes sense. And I know you all know that, but I wanted you all to hear the other reason why this book is important, why all of the books, all the anthologies that I've worked on and worked with, it's not about me. It's about reminding these amazing souls who said yes, that your work and your words and your worth are needed in the world, and that you get to be an answered prayer as you're already on the path of, being an answered prayer. I got to walk alongside and like join them on their path a little bit and walk with them. And this book is me joining each of these authors on their path towards making a difference in the world. I get a chance to link arms with you as you share your journey with the world, share your words, your mission with great intention. And so I get to hang out with y'all for a little bit as you do this, and we get to hang out together in the Wisdom Gifts experience. So I want to thank everyone who stayed. Those of you who stayed the whole time, thank you. Those of you who came along for a little while, thank you. Please do share this even after the live is no longer live. We still live on for forever, forever, which is why I think who was it that said that books, books, I think Ernetta said that, my words will last for forever. That's the whole piece of the legacy, that your gift, your life is your legacy. I think people think they have to wait till they die to leave their legacy. Well, you're going to leave it, but you're going to live it right now. And one of the ways that you will see that you can live it and see that you are living it is by getting a copy of the Gifts book. So you just go to wisdomgiftsbook.com. That will link you over to Amazon right now. until December 1st. The book is available for $14.99, so that's $10 off the retail price. And each of these authors now has their own book, their own product to be able to sell and put out into the world, and lead as they already do, and continue to lead as they already do, lead and leave their legacy right now. Thank you all so much for joining. Go to wisdomgiftsbook.com. I will come back and talk some more about it, and be about it. Listen, we're going to talk about it. We're going to be about it. And I want to remind each of you that you have permission and the ability and the resources are available to you to live your life out loud. What if you were to choose? It's just a decision. You go, yep, I'm going to get at a try. Live your life out loud. You get to answer your own prayers and be an answered prayer for others. Before I go, I would be remiss if I did not say the biggest thank you in the whole wide world to my partner in life and in love, the wonderful Dr. EJ. Many of you know him already. He is the most wonderful support, the most wonderful love, the most wonderful coach, the most wonderful boyfriend. Last night, the last episode of The Surreal Life aired, and they asked us each to say, well, where are you right now? Because we had filmed that a year ago. And my final, photo was a picture of EJ and I, and it's like, Kim Coles is living happily with her soulmate. And I don't want to spoil the other one. If you haven't seen the episode yet, you'll see what happens at the end. But I get to expand, and EJ holds space for me to expand even bigger and brighter. And I'm just getting started. And I want to thank you for holding my hand and holding my heart, as I do it, and as we do it together. That not only do I get to do this in the world, but we get to do it together. And we have some great things coming for you in 2023 to expand and exponentialize and encourage your lives as well. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you. You got to do what?
My new name.
Blessings, Dr. EJ the Great. He is super great. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. EJ. Just so you know, I'm talking to him over our shared desk over here. Thank you all so much for being here. May you have a life filled with wisdom, worth, and wonderfulness. Ooh, that might need to be a new tagline. And woo, 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 woo to all the wisdom. Have a great night, everybody. Go to wisdomgiftsbook.com. Get you a copy. Wink right now. Bye. Bye for now. Yay.